everyone, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for watching. So it has been a couple of weeks since I've last come on here. You would have seen I have new hair, so I've gone blonder. I think I already talked about it in the video. But yeah, it was my birthday and there was a bit of a faff with my hair. It was peach and I didn't like it, so I spent like the last two weekends trying to get my hair back to blonde. So that was a bit of not a disaster, because it was a washout peach, but I didn't like it. So I was just spending the last 2 weekends trying to get rid of it. So yeah, I'm back now. A lot of you were asking for another video with the Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette, so I thought I'd create something really simple and easy. I know obviously no one's really going out at the moment, you know, I mean the UK is locked down. I'm not sure where you are in the world. Let me know if you're locked down, let me know how you are and what your city or country is up to at the moment. But that doesn't mean we can't play with makeup and, you know, get creative, or if you just enjoy watching tutorials, or if you just want to get a little bit of inspiration, hopefully this helps you. But if you do want to see how I got this look right here, then just keep on watching. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is moisturise. So I got sent this moisturiser by Morphe. So it's their Total Softy Gel Moisturiser. So it's kind of like, I mean, it's white, but it doesn't feel very jelly. But it says it's got hyaluronic acid in. Yeah, hyaluronic acid and cucumber, I think. So it feels super hydrating. I've only used it once yesterday. So we'll see how it is under foundation, but it smells really nice. Feels super moisturising on my skin as well. We're going to do base first, so I'm going to go in with my foundation, which is Too Faced Born This Way foundation. At the moment I'm using light beige. This is a little bit too like neutral. I kind of prefer something that is a little bit more on the yellow golden side, but they only had that shade. And I really needed a foundation, so I'm also going to use that on a Spectrum V.2 brush to buff that into the skin. The only thing with this hair, I feel like I have to be super careful not to get it in my hair, because otherwise it makes my hair go orange, which is not great. So I kind of bounce it on the places where I want coverage, and then anywhere where you don't need as much coverage you can kind of buff it in circular motions. So for my eye base, I'm going to use the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Light Sand. So I literally just dot a couple on my lid. I dot a couple. I put a couple dots, whatever, you know what I mean. And then I'm just going to use a Spectrum A29 brush to pat that into my eyelid. So I just mainly do this to create a nice blank canvas for my eyeshadows. Then with my loose setting powder, this is the Beauty Bakery setting powder in Rice, and I'm just going to set that concealer in place. But beforehand, you just want to make sure you've got no creases. And I just like to use a little bit of powder to set this down, just so it's not too tacky, because then I find it's harder to blend like the crease, because sometimes it can go a little bit like choppy. But do whatever you prefer. I know some people like to just put eyeshadow on top of the concealer. Then I'm just going to move on and finish the skin. So I'm going to pop a little bit of concealer underneath the eye, just using the same Tarte Shape Tape, and I'm going to blend that in with a beauty sponge. This one is pretty old. Just pop that slightly lower so I don't put too much product kind of underneath the crease, and then whatever is left on my brush, I just blend it underneath the eye, just to brighten that area up. Just using that same translucent powder, I'm going to set the skin before I crease, and I'm going to use that on a Morphe M448 brush. So similar, sorry if you can hear that banging, similar to the eyes, you just want to, similar to the eyes, you just want to tap out any creases, because otherwise you end up kind of setting in the creases and you settle the product into the crease. So you just want to kind of tap it out and then also tap it in place. This powder is very like blurring. I think I've used it on, have I used this on my channel before? But this one and the Huda Beauty one is probably my two favourites because it kind of gives you that blurring effect. Also going to pop that pretty much everywhere, but I focus it mainly through the centre, especially the middle of my forehead. Like I've started to get like lines. Getting old now that I'm 28. And then especially on the places where you put the bronzer and blusher, because you'll find that it will just blend that little bit easier. And I always tap it in as well, so you don't disturb any of the coverage. So at the moment I've been using this bronzer by Kiko. So it's in shade 02, it's the Flawless Fusion bronzer. So since I've gone slightly lighter with my hair, I find using a warm bronzer just a little bit too orangey against my hair. I'm not sure if it's the contrast. So this one, as you can see, is just a little bit cooler. So it's a bit more flattering against the lighter hair. And I'm going to use that on a Spectrum A04 brush. And again, just tap it into place. So that way you kind of avoid getting any like patchiness. And then same around the forehead as well. But not too much because I don't want, again, to be too like striking against the hair. But remember, you can always add bronzer later on. So at the moment I feel like that is enough, but sometimes when I do my eyes, I'll go back in at the end. So now that we've got the skin pretty much done, I'm not sure what highlighter I'm going to use, or if I'm going to use highlighter, because I don't know, I find highlighter just not very flattering on me. It looks really nice in video and on camera, but sometimes, yeah, it enhances texture. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. So as the video title suggests, we are going to be using the Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette, because a lot of you were saying, sorry, a lot of you were saying in my last video where I used this that you wanted me to do more looks with it. So firstly, I'm going to go into the shade Perfectionist, and I'm gonna pop that through my crease with a Spectrum B07 brush. I'm just gonna focus this through the natural crease of my eye and slightly above as well, but we're not putting it in the outer corner because we're gonna keep that free of colour for now, because I kind of want to create a cut crease all the way across, so you don't really need colour there at the moment. So this step you don't have to be too neat, you kind of just want to get that colour on there. And I'm taking this up reasonably high because I know later on I'll have a darker colour, so you kind of want to make sure that you've got this colour like peeking through. So this will just help your darker shades blend that a little bit easier. So next, taking the shade Thick Skin and a Morphe M514 brush. You want to take a slightly smaller blending brush. So this one, as you can see, it's still quite rounded, but it's smaller than the brush before. So that way we can kind of focus that colour in the crease, but we're not going to take it up as high. And again, applying that in the same sort of area. You don't need to take it into the outer corner, just follow that natural shape of the crease and just really work it and wiggle it in like so. And you can always take a clean brush just to soften those edges. And I also use that brush to kind of blend the eyeshadow in that direction. So because we know we want it to be a slightly winged out shape, so this brush doesn't have any more product on it, but you literally just want to use whatever's left on the eye to kind of work that colour out. Because sometimes if you actually if you go in with eyeshadow and place it in that area, you almost get too much colour. So kind of use whatever's left just to work it through. But you almost want it to blend into nothing. So there's kind of no distinctive line between that colour and your skin. So you can always use the shade Perfectionist on your first brush just to soften that edge. So I'm going to take my P. Louise base and work on the lower lash line now. So I think I've mentioned this previously in my videos, that I like to use the base underneath my eye, or kind of like on the lower lash line, because I always find eyeshadow fades so quick there, even within like 10 minutes and I move on to another step. I feel like it just fades. I don't know why, but this just ensures that you've got like something for it to grab onto. And I just use that on a small pencil brush. I just wipe off the excess on my hand and then kind of diffuse the edge. Then using a flat shader brush, I'm going to go back into the shade Thick Skin and I'm going to press that into the lower lashes. So just using a definer brush, you're just ensuring that you get it right up into the lower lashes. And then don't worry if it's too harsh, because we can go in and blend it with a pencil brush. So I'm going to take the shade Love Handles in this palette. So if you can see, just compared to Perfectionist, it's just a little bit more peachy. We're just going to blend that very slightly. So I'm kind of barely touching the skin. Just really softly diffuses the edge. Then you've got that gradient from dark to light. Okay, so I'm going to use the same Tarte Shape Tape concealer as before and my MAC 242 brush. So we're going to cut the crease, but this time we're going to go all the way across. So you basically kind of just want to follow the natural crease of your eye, because I don't want it to be like too dramatic where it's like basically above your crease, because when you look forward for this look, I kind of just want to see the lid super bright. I don't necessarily want to see a line. You know how sometimes you can see the line above the crease? That's when it can kind of look more dramatic, if that makes sense. But we basically just want to keep the lid nice and lit, and we just want to bring that forward slightly. And we are going to put a colour over the top, but this is kind of just going to give you a nice base for that shade. So I just start slightly lower in the crease, or on the lid, sorry. So you can kind of just roughly follow the crease. I'm just kind of mapping it out very, very roughly. I'm just going to switch brush because I felt like that MAC brush was a little bit old. So I'm just going to take my P. Louise brush, and where my lid folds over slightly, I'm just going to take it up slightly higher. So that way when my eye is relaxed, it doesn't transfer. So for the lid colour, I'm going to take the shade Perfectionist, which was the colour that we put through the crease. I'm just going to use that same Love Handles colour, but on a fluffy brush now, just to kind of diffuse out the outer corner. Okay, so I do feel like there is something missing on the outer corner, so I think I'm going to do a smoky liner. Because we do have that eyeshadow there, I feel like it's not going to pick up as well. So we're going to do the same trick that we done before by putting the P. Louise base down. You could literally just save yourself ag and do like a gel liner, so like a brownie colour on the edge. But I don't really have, well, maybe I do, but I can't be asked to get up. So we're going to use that same little brush as before, get a little bit on the back of our hand, and literally just dab where you think you're going to put the liner. So kind of on the lash line, and kind of blend it out into where that line is. Using that same flat definer brush as before, we're going to use the same thick skin colour and literally just dab it on top. Basically, if we didn't have that P. Louise base underneath, it wouldn't look as strong. Sorry guys, I've just had to go put a cardi on because it is absolutely, I'm absolutely freezing. Absolutely freezing. So once you've kind of got that like on the outer corner, I'm going to take an angle brush and the same colour and just kind of slightly wing it out, just so you've got a little bit more control with an angle brush and you can get it a little bit more defined. So same sort of motion as an angled, as a winged liner, sorry. Just kind of follow the line up. And just flicking it up as if it was a winged liner. And then with that same brush as before, just blend it into that line. Then just use a smaller blending brush just to soften that edge, like so. For the inner corner highlight, I'm going to use the shade Certified. So normally I would go for a shimmery colour, but I feel like because everything's matte, I don't know, it just felt like keeping it all completely matte. So for mascara, I'm going to use Extended Play by MAC. Just put a little bit on top. So the lashes that I am wearing are by Eyeshadow and they're called Fluttery Light Lashes. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop some mascara on my lower lashes with the same Extended Play mascara. So for lipsticks, I've got these Kat Von D liquid lipstick to try. So I've never tried these before. I got sent them by, I think they're called KVD now. I don't know if they're owned by Kat Von D anymore. Anyways, that's beside the point. So yeah, they sent me the liquid lipsticks, so I'm going to give them a go. I don't know which one to go for. So I've got Lolita 2. I've heard of this one. I feel like this used to be really popular. And I feel like this one would look kind of very monochromatic with the eyes. Or we could go for something super contrasting and go for a dark lip. Oh, I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to try the Lolita, I don't know if I'm saying that right first, because it's easier to get off in case I want to try the other one. So this is the first option. I actually like it more than I thought I would, but I still really want to try the dark one, only because I feel like it would look quite cool against the my lighter hair. So yeah, might as well just try both and then see what I think. Okay, so this is the Vampire, I think it's called Vampire. No, Vampire. Oh my god, can I not say vampire? I don't know. I'm not sure. The spelling is really confusing me. Yeah, so this is the next one, the darker one. I wanted to like this one because I don't want to have to take it off. But not gonna lie, I think I prefer this one. Just because, I don't know, I quite like the monochromatic kind of look. And also, I feel like I've done a look with a similar colour, like a darker one recently, and I never ever wear anything like this. So for the final look, we'll go with this one, but of course you can go with whatever lip colour you feel comfortable with. Then finally, to complete this look, I'm going to go in with a little bit of Love Handles and Perfectionist as a blusher to kind of really tie in the whole monochrome look. So I've got my final lip on, and that is pretty much the look finished. I feel like it took me ages to film because I was like doing TikToks and then I had dinner, so I have no idea if this tutorial is going to be any good. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something. Let me know what you want to see next, whether it's with this palette or another palette that you want me to review or try. Just let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new here. Thank you so much for watching, and you'll see me in my next one. Bye!